my own needs. All right. Hi, welcome. You're just in time. Would you like a yoga mat to lie down on? And before you lie down, I invite you to take a flower and add it to our mandala here in the center. You were just getting started. We're going to keep growing flowers, okay?
Really?
Yeah. So grounding is such an exciting moment. This is a very auspicious day. It's an auspicious weekend. And how lucky we are to be together in Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, gathering of very special people. Take a deep breath and open your mouth and let go. Open and close your mouth a few times. Roll your head side to side. Just feel the weight of your body against this beautiful flooring. So I'm so inspired because not only is this a special weekend with my teacher visiting, it's also a holy weekend in this Bhakti Yoga tradition. So you'll hear more about that. Oh, Willy Wonka's here too. So as we move through the day, we practice mindfulness, but over mindfulness, heartfulness. Bhakti Yoga is the yoga of devotional love and service, and as H.D. Goswami was saying last night, it's from the root that, the Sanskrit root that means to share. So when you really love something, you want to share it with others. And just think of how you do that in your own lives. Everyone in here is a light worker, to use that expression. But we have offerings of devotion and love and service. Ultimately, in Bhakti Yoga, we're connecting to Source. So this is a practice and a pilgrimage, and this is the theme for the day is pilgrimage. So take a breath in and stretch your arms over your head. Some of you might have some stuff behind you. Just work around it. Stretch into your sacred body, into your temple. Stretch and reach your wrists, your fingers, your toes. Rotate. The body is a vehicle for your embodied individual soul. And the pilgrimage being our inward journey. Take a big breath, stretch. As you exhale, pull knees towards your chest. We'll do this a little bit later. I know it's not exactly yoga time on the schedule. Make whatever movements you like. If that means feet towards the ceiling, hands towards the ceiling, and more rotations. If you want to hold your legs, cradling them close to your belly, feels nice too. If you need to be upright, you can come upright. So pilgrimage doesn't have to be a physical location. And in the yoga system, we have lots of those. We have physical tirtha, holy places that we want to visit, countries, locations, temples. starts inside, right? And I'm not telling any of you guys anything you don't already know. So in this yoga science, this practice of going inward as pilgrimage, part of the fun of it is remembering that it is a practice and it's, as above, so below, like inside out. Our practices become our lifestyle. So, start to make your way to seat. In your way, if you're doing something one-sided and you need some more time to finish that movement, please take all the time that you need within a minute. Is it too cold in here?
No, I just got you.
Yeah. Cold. So this is our sacred circle, this Sadhu Sangha, and later we'll do a little art workshop creating mandala, and mandala here being a focal point with the Om symbol in flowers. The Om, of course, being shorthand for the divine. And in the science of yoga, we are trying to yoke, yuj is where yoga comes from, yoke to that divine. We do it through body-mind practices, so that mindful practice and the heartful practice. I'd like to take this moment now and with this nice small gathering, take a moment, go around, introduce yourself. Just keep it simple. Coffee order, how about that? Coffee order. And maybe a song that makes you feel joy. So your name and a song that makes you feel joy. And I'm looking at Scott, and he's like, dude, go the other way.
And I'm looking at you saying, go the other way.
That's okay. Put me in, coach, I'm ready. Yeah, okay, my name is Scott. I currently live in South Florida. I'm Leslie's friend of 4 years, and I'm very grateful to be here today. The song that gives me joy would be Joy by Chris Stapleton and Carlos Santana. So, yeah, it's a great song.
What a great song.
Yeah, it's a great song.
Do you have a coffee order or no?
Coffee? Just espresso.
I know, that's kind of a silly question.
Yeah,
Okay,
espresso.
icebreaker.
Yeah.
Lawrence.
I'm Lawrence. I really honestly, I like the happy birthday song because you focus on like the person and then their life, and we're all just kind of focusing on what their special time. And I don't really have, I guess.
He's a boba drinker.
I like
Oh.
boba. But I don't really have, I'm not really a coffee guy, so yeah.
My name is Tara, and my coffee order is chai with oat milk. And a song that makes me happy is Dancing in the Moonlight. That's one of my favorite songs of all time.
I'm Zora. I guess a song I like very much is One Nation Under a Groove, Funkadelic. Coffee order, just plain drip.
Okay, just give it to me straight.
A little cream, a little sugar.
Yeah.
Are you taking our coffee orders?
Yeah.
I'm Raymond, Forrest Barton, and lucky enough to been doing yoga with it for about 8 years now. And my favorite song, I think, that brings me reflection and joy is One by U2
Oh, wow.
and Hot Chocolate.
I'm Jen. I also like drip coffee, and the bigger and the hotter, with nothing in it. I live really close, just a couple blocks away from here, and after all of our Beatles conversations last night, I have to say that we picked my funeral music a long time ago, and Let It Be was my choice. However, my children have overruled me with Jeremiah Was a Bullfrog, and they promised to sing and play guitar. So for several years they practiced, which drove me nuts, and then my oldest son moved here, and we got a little less practicing, and so but the younger kids still sing it all the time whenever they want to urge me forward.
I
All
love it.
happy. I know.
And now I'm seeing it in my head.
I'm gonna get Jess a yoga mat, and everyone, there are also blankets in the corner.
In my car.
Desiree?
My name is Desiree. Thank you. I'm gonna do the coffee because I'm remembering. I lived in Homestead for
Okay.
a while and worked in Miami with So Coladas, which is like Cuban crack, essentially. And holy smokes, that's just so tasty. And I still use Bustelo, which is where was my choice. And salmon, and what was the other
A
question?
song that brings you
Oh.
joy.
Aloe Black sings a song called Green Lights, and it's something special happened today. There was green lights all the way. And it's such an affirmation song for me. It's like, yeah. How about you?
That's wonderful. Jess, I won't put you on the spot, but you're last.
She's ready.
Who you are, if your coffee-ish order, whatever that is, we've had hot chocolate, chai, and boba, so not just coffee, and this Cuban crack, and a song that brings you joy.
So I'm Jessie. Coffee order is usually like French press, French roast, just black. My mom is Finnish, so I grew up with like very dark coffee from a young age and I love that. And The Wind by Cass Stevens as well.
This is so wonderful. I'm sorry you missed the other editions. It's been, no apologies, but just how interesting it is, like so many different genres over so many different time frames. Of course, I'm Leslie. You'll also hear H.D. Goswami call me Satyavati. This is my spiritual name. And it means bearer of truth, and it's very special. And I take coffee usually as a chai latte with oat. And a song that brings me joy is Footloose. And you know, the thing is that's common with, I think, all of these songs is, you know, it's a call to action. There's an invitation to have a human experience, let it be. There's celebration, one nation under a groove, you know. I think like with music, it's obviously the conduit. It's an instrument for mood, for celebration. Obviously, we can use it in lots of ways, and we'll talk a little bit about in Bhagavad Gita and in the Science of Yoga, the three modes of material nature are it's like the three colors, the three primary colors, red, yellow, blue, can combine to make other colors. Nothing is strictly red or blue or yellow, but there's variegatedness. And the three modes of material nature is sattva, which is the mode of goodness and clarity and harmony, the mode of rajas, which is action and passion, and the mode of tamas is the mode of darkness and torpor. It's also called the mode of ignorance. But that is, what it refers to is the mode of not knowing. So knowing versus not knowing. Science versus nescience, not knowing. And so music, sound vibration can be in those three modes. And again, it isn't always, like One Nation Under a Groove is kind of like rajas, right? It's dance, it's If you're not familiar with the song, it's definitely like a dance party song. Lots of heavy bass, and Footloose is a Rajas song. Like, you're dancing and, you know, you wanna, like, but the lyrics too have to do with letting go, in a way. It's like, been working too hard, punching my card, I'm gonna use the weekend and let it go, Footloose. So music and sound being a way to connect. We have, today, in just a few minutes, we'll do a little singing and chanting, and we'll actually be singing Let It Be.
Wow.
I know.
Did I just die?
I know.
We
but-
didn't plan this.
So, but the symbol here in the center, back to the yoga science, as the primordial sound. There are sounds that elevate. We'll do that together in a moment. And there are sounds that take us down. And then there's the mix, you know. But the Sanskrit language particularly being directly connected to the transcendental. So we have the material and we have the spiritual, the transcendental, what rises above the material. As the center, as part of that pilgrimage, we're going inward. It's an inward and it's an outward expression. The sound vibration happening all the time on all levels. When we tap into it, that helps us elevate. So on this transcendental platform, helps us elevate. What we teach in this particular variation of Bhakti Yoga is that, you know, you live in the world, you do your duty, but you just like elevate it a little bit. You know, you don't have to go and live in a cave, even though that sounds really attractive to some, like, let's run off and, you know, like, I don't know, one of the newer Star Wars movies, Luke Skywalker lives on the top of a mountain, and, you know, he's sort of become this like recluse yogi in a way. But that's not what we do. We're all people, we own businesses, we have jobs, we have families, we have pets, we're grieving, we're in the mix. So specifically in Bhagavad Gita, and I'll talk a lot about that later, the instructions are what we do in this life. In the Bhagavad Gita, it's the discussion between a chariot driver and his passenger who doesn't want to fight. The warrior doesn't want to fight. And what happens throughout the course of the short discussion is Krishna, who is the chariot driver, never tells the warrior, he never changes his conditions. He never changes his external circumstance. But he gives him ways to live, ways to make different choices, to elevate. You still have to do the dirty work. You still have to, you know, he's a warrior, so he will be fighting at some point. And he's told over and over again that, you know, stand up and fight. So it's all related. The sound, how we tap in, the discussion, the conversation, keeping it on this, you know, very human, but also like having this open heart about learning, and being, you know, having practical experiences with what we do with our yoga. It's here we're here. So does anyone have any questions, comments, reflections before we move on? Any additions, subtractions? You need to add to it. Would you pick any flower? No one has picked the big zinnia yet, and just so you know, we'll finish up what you're doing, and then I'll do the housekeeping stuff. You grab my water.
Jesse, your hair is fabulous. Thanks. looked at you and I was like, Jesus.
Did you get to add your flower?
I did.
Oh, shucks, I missed it.
Just a little one there.
She completes it.
Good. Well, I'm just so thrilled everyone's here. This is a harmonium. I actually was not prepared to be the sole musician.
My house guest is gonna be here in a little bit. I don't know, he's having his camping gear, but.
Oh, no,
He
it's
plays too, you can put him on the spot.
Dana's sick. Yeah. So, there are toilets down the hall. There's water, there's fruit. We still have to wash the apples. Everything kind of is exactly where it needs to be. So a harmonium is a wood instrument. This is not my personal instrument, but so it's a wood instrument with reeds, and it's played by pumping. I got to play Zora's several years ago. It's a European instrument that has been used by the Indian population, and it can be played in kind of like a joyful way. It has a moodiness to it. So this is sound, and obviously it's sound. So, sit upright and tall. Close your eyes if you're comfortable closing your eyes. Root down, feel the earth underneath you. Take a breath in. Let's chant Om together. Just Om and Om and Om and Om. I'll stop playing the music and we'll have a few more Oms and then silence. So Om is the primordial sound in the yoga tradition. And part of it actually includes silence. So take an inhale to prepare. Let's do 3 more. Feel it in your chest, on your lips. Last one. So, we could have said any word. We could have said caterpillar. And maybe had the same bodily experience. I could have said footloose over and over. But, you know, tapping into these spiritual sounds changes the mood of the place. So from the mode of goodness, sattva, and beyond, sattva being a platform to jump off of. It's harder to jump from the mode of passion or the mode of darkness. But you have to have a place to start. So pilgrimage, the idea of pilgrimage, this going inward, wherever you are, it doesn't have to be, you know, hop on a plane, leave your family for 3 weeks, and go on a big journey. But we have this opportunity to do it, even from your yoga mat or on a dog walk. The science of yoga meaning to join, to yoke. Like I said, ultimately to the divine, whatever idea of divine you have, it's all welcome. You're going to hear a lot today about Krishna because I'm a student of the Bhagavad Gita, and he's a speaker of Bhagavad Gita. And in this tradition, in the lineage, the teachers of, in the lineage are in direct succession. It's really interesting. So Howard Resnick, who's here, is in direct succession through his line, through his teacher, and today is his teacher's birthday. So it's a very celebrated day. His name is A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So you'll hear about him later today and throughout, but there are thousands of translations of Bhagavad Gita. We study 2 basic ones, maybe a third sometimes. What's different, like HD talked about this last night, in Christianity, Jesus, what did he say about the teachings? He was this, how did he put it? Krishna spoke directly to his student. So that kind of being a different way, it's received. It's received information versus these teachings coming later, like with Buddha and Jesus. Forgive me as I butcher this whole concept, but having these, again, this like direct line. So more on that later. But we do use the sound. And so I have chant sheets for us. So we'll start with, I had something kind of hoppier planned for our very first chant, but we're just gonna go straight into Let It Be Sensation. Your lyrics. And bear with me.
I feel like it's my birthday or
I
something.
know. Bear with me when I play, because actually hidden tonight. I'm not gonna apologize. So this is, you can ignore what's at the very top, that's my cheat sheet for the chords. And I found this cool paragraph at the bottom. Paul McCartney wrote the song. And so it's a little blurb from an interview where he describes the origin of the song. That he had a visit of a dream, a vision of his mother saying, "Let it be, it's gonna be okay." practices of detachment, detachment practice over and over again. This is directly out of Bhagavad Gita, and we'll read about it in chapter 6 today. We have these minds that are active and busy, and the mind is actually considered a sense. So we have the 5 senses plus the mind. And so on the battlefield, right before this battle is about to start, the warrior looks at the 2 sides, the opposing sides, and he says, I don't want to do it, I can't fight. If I fight this battle, it's going to cause ruination. He basically has the worst day of his life. And he sits down in the chariot, drops his bow, and he tells his chariot driver, Krishna, I shall not fight. To which Krishna smiles and says, it's kind of an intense way of like not really, he let Arjuna speak, but he didn't co-sign it. He said, all right, well guess what? Never was there a time when you and I did not exist, nor all of these other kings, and never will there be a time when we cease to be. This body changes, just like we change clothes, from youth to old age to death, and then we take on another birth. So, reincarnation. And you'll hear Dr. Resnick say that even like in 2 weeks your skin cells replace. So that's almost like a new birth. So instead of on the battlefield leaving the battle, Krishna tells Arjuna, well, you gotta control your mind. These senses that are rampant, like wild horses, like the wind, try to control them, tolerate the uncomfortable. We said that yesterday. Tolerate to elevate. And just do your duty. Do your duty without expectations of results. And this is where the rubber meets the road, and it's like the hardest part, like realizing that I can't just run. I might want to run, like my story of a few years ago, we were going through a legal thing, just like Arjuna on the battlefield, we were fighting against family. And we're on the phone in my car with a lawyer for an hour. And you were probably the first person I called when I got out of the car. But I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be in the car. I didn't want to be on the phone with the lawyer for an hour. Like, that's like $500. I didn't want to be in this fight. And there was no escape. There wasn't going off to the cave. There was no avoiding what was happening. So this is where the teachings really hit. That we have these intense, complicated lives, and we have to tolerate what? So let it be. Will you please hand this out? I was gonna try and keep the music going. So more on this later. Here's a little spoiler. On the battlefield, this whole conversation is spoken. Thank you. And at the very end, in chapter 18, Krishna asks the warrior, have you heard everything I've told you? Okay, good, now do as you wish. So he's not like No, thank you. I mean, so we have agency. Like, it was up to me to sit in that car and not want to be there and suffer. Like, I was suffering. And what the teachings give us is that there's no material solution to suffering. Like, can you think of something that causes suffering in your life? I mean, open your phone, go to Facebook, there will be some suffering. You know, you see people suffering here in downtown Salem. So, I just want to impress on you guys that what these teachings are is not a bypass. But it's just taking the moment, taking the pause, being on the battlefield, not wanting to fight and pausing. And being willing to hear and listen to that internal voice as part of your pilgrimage, all right? This is, I don't want to hit it so hard, but this is the theme. So we had our beautiful Paul McCartney song. We'll sing together, actually Paul and response style, Paul and response, the Maha mantra, which is the great. Maha means great, mantra. Mantra, manas means mind, and tra it's often defined as a tool. It's a way to direct the mind. So I'm gonna have ideas in my head, I'm gonna have Footloose in my head, but is that gonna elevate me? Maybe for a little bit, but it's temporary. And that's the thing with the material. The material is temporary, and the transcendental is not. So we'll chant Maha Mantra. I will chant first in the call and response style, and we'll do this for a couple of minutes. So just listen with your heart, chant back, use your voice. Hare Krishna, wonderful singing, everyone. So the Maha Mantra, 3 words. Hare, it's the divine feminine. Calling in the divine feminine. Appealing to her. It's if you know linguistics, this is the vocative tense, which is calling out. So you're calling out first to the divine feminine. And then you're calling out to the divine masculine. Hare, divine feminine. Krishna, the divine masculine. Rama is another name. It means the reservoir of pleasure. So that all pleasure, eternal, like long-lasting. I know this is a lot. But you're calling it in to your heart and then asking, like, how can I be of service? How can I share this that I love so much? That these beautiful flowers, this beautiful conversation, this beautiful space. Yes, I'm glad you're doing that. Yeah, feel free to take care of yourselves. Get up, grab your phone if you need to. Take some photos. And there are lots of mantras. Lots and lots and lots and lots of mantras. This is a very specific one that is particular to this lineage. And the history of it's kind of cool. 500 years ago or so in South India, there's a group of priests, practitioners that took the chant from it being cloistered and brought it to the people. So, one nation under a groove. We, rather than just, it being for the priest to have, it was democratized. And this figure in the tradition, Lord Chaitanya, there's these beautiful images of Lord Chaitanya, arms up like this in ecstasy, dancing through the forests, the jungles of southern India. And that it is said that by his chanting, the animals dropped their natural animosity toward each other and experienced that same bliss, which is all of our nature, to be blissful. So you can think of it as like, what a cool thing in that moment that this chanting caused the animals to drop their natural animosities towards each other, but then you bring it inside. And all of the snakes and jaguars in my head, they can, drop their natural animosities towards each other, hopefully, through elevating. And this is what Krishna tells Arjuna on the battlefield. Yeah, we have to get along in this world. It's hard to be saintly. Just keep reaching higher. Find that higher taste. Hear the higher taste. Bring it into your life. Practice it. It's not going to be perfect. And he tells him it's through practice and detachment. Because Arjuna says, like, trying to harness my mind is like trying to control the wind. Like, can you guys relate to that? I don't know. Like, if you've ever been in a meditation, it's like, just sit and, be quiet, upright spine, and like, there's so much happening in here. So this is why mantras are useful. And, we practiced singing a beautiful prayer mantra, let it be, and then, these Sanskrit words. So we'll take a short bio break and then get ready for some physical yoga, some asana. Does anyone have anything they want to contribute right now, or question, or?
Lots of gratitude, thank you.
Oh my God, always. Yeah. I always say in class that this is the outward expression of inner gratitude. And like you'll find yourself doing it when you like order food or something.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
I get my prescription.
Yeah, exactly. So, and what a world it would be if we all did that, like in a sincere way. Dr. Resnick last night was saying, my brother called when we were on our morning walk yesterday. My brother's a climate scientist. And it's been a tough go. It's been a tough go. I'll have to find the article, but there was an article about him and it was like the ballad of the angry environmentalist or something like that. Because he has all this information that he's trying to get people to listen to, and because of how our world works, it's not, no one's heeding the call, right? And it's nothing new. And so in this conversation, I was like, imagine if everyone, actually did care about each individual tree, and was offering gratitude, and it would be such a different way of living. And it starts inside. So we can try and, yell from the rooftops, but it's how people see it in you. I'm sure your yoga students, Jesse, they see it in you, how, what you embody in your teachings. Or, every one of us in here, has that kind of reach. Of course, there's the personal is political, right? So everything you do, every dollar you spend, and I'm not trying to make this into a preaching opportunity, but it does matter, how we treat ourselves and each other. It could change the world. So, on that note, let's take a little break, have some water, a little stretch, and we're gonna leave this here and just work around it. So we'll set up the mats just in, linear fashion.
Do you want them this way?
Facing this way.
Facing, yes. But I might have us face the windows. But you guys wanna use the mirrors? Sometimes I'll have them face the mirrors and they're like, no.
Your singing voice is getting
Do you have-
fabulous.
Thank you.
Do you have an offering back here? That's okay.
Not officially. It's a good idea. Okay. Thank you.
Zora, I think
You think you're something.
Leslie all the time. But it is because.
Yeah, man. I I will always remember the
You're okay.
I'm gonna say,
Really, Michael and Leslie
Whoa.
should. They have always read.
Hey, go pick your cup home, right?
Exactly.
Twice on my own, but not understanding.
Okay.
But it did take me down the path of a lot better.
am.
Are you gonna be here?
I'm gonna be probably wandering about. My feet are asleep though, so I'm just waiting for them to wake up.
That's what he's spent his last 29.
Cool.
He's very interested in how all this started. But I think that's because from a really young age, I mean, he was in junior high, when we all started really.
you guys to meet you.
Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah, big time. Definitely.
I've
Marianne Williamson and the
Yeah,
Center
Northwest
Wells
Mall.
and, everything.
I was in Little Bend.
Gita was on it.
Not that far from where it used to be, yeah.
Understand
Absolutely, I love that neighborhood, it's just the coolest neighborhood.
stories that I couldn't
Yeah.
relate to.
Yeah.
Right. And
If you need a US
words
word without leaving the US, that's the place to do it,
I lived in Italy for a while before
Yeah.
I moved back here, and it really took me to understand what
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
This language, how they're speaking their language, in our family, we call each other a lot of names. Loving names, bad names, whatever they were discussing the other day, how many loving names / turned bad and we have gone, calling the kids, cute names. And, when they talk and they're, always using this, talking to each other and saying with strong arms and with some laser and, it sounds like our family. Always commenting on
Yes.
what one another is up to.
Over time.
It really took me outside of the country and thinking that it is
Thank you.
to come back
Yeah,
into
hearing
your
your language, yeah, from a different perspective.
very much, it was like, why is it when there's girls in a group in Italian, you say hello girls, but when there's one boy, you say hello guys.
Yeah.
And they're like, what are you doing in America? And I'm like, we do. We definitely walk in here and say, hey guys, how are you? You know?
Yes, I
And-
always wondered about this.
And we don't say, this is my cousin, and these are my two aunts, and this is my brother. We say, these are my relatives. And they say that too, these are my relations. I'm not.
Wisconsin.
Oh, I love you now, it's exactly the way it really sounds weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've heard Keisha this morning.
I think because all the verbs and everything have to go with
Yeah,
feminine and
Full on. It's
masculine
like
in a way that ours
super, like,
don't.
sometimes
You know,
those
like,
are
because
like
they
the
think
best
guys,
ones,
but then we
it's
don't have
just
to
like,
change the verb.
just go for it, you know what I mean?
Right,
Okay,
right.
thank
To
you.
make it.
I'm gonna
That
go
gives
to
me
the,
reading the meat make a lot more sense.
Well,
too, just
Is that hot,
in
Tara?
the way you talk about people or family.
thank you.
I'm gonna my family and my teachers and my people that I love and, you know, or, yeah, it's just all made a lot more sense. I think that I took, I don't know, I guess I just took it for granted that the way I was speaking and that other things didn't make as much sense to me until spending 6 years outside of the US. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, thank goodness someone translated this from Sanskrit. I would have really not got it.
I guess we'll just.
Are we just facing the front, is that?
Yeah, she wanted to be this way.
Well, she hadn't decided whether we were looking outside or inside. I'll put mine near you. Well, I can put near you. How many children do you have, Jen? 3. Oh. Michael,
Michael, I
Alice.
have Jaden at home with me, he's been with me for 2 years.
Oh, he's here.
36. And then Sage is 29, and I pick him up at the end of the month and drive him and his cat across the country. They're still in Missouri, and I had a gallbladder and some ruptured cysts and things over June and July, and
Were you
it was a mess, you know, it was very scary. And I also just had an interesting relationship interaction when it comes to the end because of this. And I was telling my
Good place.
youngest, I find in relationships a lot, you have a relationship with someone once,
Zora,
and you think that they will start to be the relationship that you want,
studio work,
and then they never do.
then
And then you
COVID
say,
hit
this is the
and
relationship that I need to have, and they say, well,
shift
I
your.
really like it my way. I really like you to
Yeah,
do the relationship my way, you know?
Yeah.
And I said, it just dawned on me that I had allowed
She was
myself to
teaching
do
the
that.
why, the moral path last
I certainly didn't allow Michael to live out here alone and have a
Very
baby
full
and not
crowd.
chase him.
But,
You know,
that
and so I
she's
said,
the one with the practice with
you
her.
have wanted and
When
then
she
you
died, it really
took
kind of
care of you the most and
Yeah,
now you have us.
we got our
And
own.
now it's time for you to come and be with me. And I want to be right by you all the time, for years. I want your full attention
And he
for
did,
a year.
and he's willing.
And he said, okay,
Wow.
I'll do that. And all the time he's always,
Is this empty?
and,
Is this empty?
Did I miss something?
you know, and he just
Okay,
said,
that's good.
yes,
Okay, thank you.
I'll do it, yep. I was like,
I mean, she's a very-
but I have been asking him for 5 years.
Yes, and then the illness, I mean, it puts in that perspective.
And to not be able to talk about it, you know, to just be like,
8
guys,
years
I
in
feel
about a
like
week.
it. And he's like, you know, so that's a really interesting
This is the ninth variation. I'm not familiar with, I'm
relationship,
somewhat familiar with a lot of the
romantic
Eagle partners.
relationship I'm sure you started with last year, but
That I get some.
with my kids, it was a
references.
closer daughter lately, and it's all been a really good practice to really get circles to watch each other be.
And support each other in their growth and each other.
It is true. Leslie has really done so much for this whole, now that the other kids, I'm
remember when he first walked in and he was working at the bar. You know, I mean, it was such a
And now common people.
shift
Yeah.
of focus and desire to grow, you know?
He was injured. I don't know if you knew, probably can most of that story, but he got injured. And he came home back to Missouri. And I mean, we were friends there, he moved out there. And he came here and he got injured doing parkour.
My brother is
And I
like,
said, I can offer you
yeah,
yoga in my hot tub
Simple.
and massage.
another thing I never got into.
Nothing really
But the,
She wishes I would.
under warranty, because none of it's
I know, I
part of
could.
it, you know, so you can
Actually,
see.
Like chanting,
But you
it's not
cannot
something
and
that
this
it's,
expects me to really up here.
fix whatever.
So we have the three,
And as it turned out, he did have problems that
this little.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like a
but
blood
he did
conduit.
hurt himself falling.
And
into
Bindu
it.
is the yacht.
I'm sure it's really fun for a lot of
So we have the three states of waking,
And he came back here and just threw down.
sleep through down. Yes,
Oh my God.
There's three states.
It'll come back.
Waking state, sleep state, and like,
Something like that. People
and then
that are
this is
sensitive
the
to
trance.
and their separations are
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So when you see it, it actually has, you know, it isn't just like cool calligraphy.
So it was like.
But that's interesting that Zoom is available.
And,
Really dissipated.
have you taken much yoga? Sweet.
Yes, I know.
Good. Do you guys go to, the other clubs?
Appreciate that. Right, and have that.
And people, when they would speak, would interfere with what's being presented, you know, so you had to mute everybody.
That's like
or things
yoga
like
church, I've heard. Like,
It
people-
is.
There's like 40 people in there. Yeah.
The technology of it, the adjustment to making it easy to view, easy to access for people, there was a real lag there. And then, I
And of course,
remember the first
For you guys, right?
you know your place and
Yes,
now
I
you have
remember
that too.
that would be like a great.
All of that.
So,
That was
common
really,
people,
so great.
used to fill that space and, you know, like this.
Yes.
Okay, it's a good crush. Okay, good.
Cleanings were pretty responsible for my whole family.
Oh, good.
That I have a grandchild and everything.
Yeah, pretty much.
And, let it all happen, but.
Grab a mat,
I had a
or you can
piece of
slip and
plastic.
slide.
Are we doing yoga?
Yes.
Separated the teacher from the students, so that somehow added to our capacity by a couple of years. And doing Zoom.
You get to be right here at the
I was, yeah, I was thinking myself right by the flowers. And then,
Difficult to know where to take it. Yeah, we've done it, you know, moved on through, shifted so many people, so many business models.
maybe once like last year. Hey, this is Erin.
Hey, Erin. Glad you're here. You're listening to our school? Okay. You get your mat and here, take a bucket.
I'm taking up 2 spaces actually, so.
Erin.
All over the place with my stuff.
Grab the top of a flower and add it to our mandala here too. So there are flowers and vases behind you and you and Jen are probably gonna end up
First of all, would you mind?
touching the mandala.
We practice the door. Small thing.
I think I'll set up a mat just for.
Facing this direction?
We'll probably move in various directions. Do you have enough room?
I do.
You're gonna be cool?
Yeah, Zora moved you.
You moved me over? He moved you. So everyone, this is Aaron in the middle of the room. Welcome. He's staying with Jen, visiting from Colorado.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh. Welcome. And when Jen comes back, we'll get started. We missed a little bit of
Ooh, love your time.
some tears already.
Very good.
The restrooms are down that way, and there's a little bit of water and some snacks over here. Okay. Let's move our bodies. Does anyone have any requests? Let's start with a dance party. We're gonna not have music though. So, let's, just with this, all this like big energy, you're welcome to not be on your mat. You can step off of your mat. You can come, this is a dance studio. You can close your eyes and let's just spend like a minute like shaking it out. Ah, shake, you can jump around, you can dance, you can do the footloose dance. I mean, yeah. Shake off what you need to shake off. I know we're not like super warmed up, we've been sitting, so. Now you're like, I'm done. Yeah, get your neighbor's face. Don't forget to breathe.
Oh, yeah.
Open and close your mouth a few times. Okay. Come to your mat, separate your feet wide, turn your toes out. Yes, and we'll do a little washing machine. Careful with your neighbor, you can maybe try and high five. This might not always work out. Arms move loosely, shift your weight side to side. You're welcome to lift your heel as you turn to the opposite direction and even tap into the back body. Start to deepen your breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Jaw relax. Feel the air on your skin and the weight of your body against this beautiful floor. And you can go to center. Keep your feet wide-ish, and if you're comfortable closing your eyes, do so. And just feel the little bit of movement. Notice how it's similar to the sound vibration that we had not so long ago. And you might even still be feeling the sound vibration. Start to breathe through the nose. Breathe in and out by your nose. And come to the top of your mat. Feet hips width or together. Mountain pose, shoulders relaxed. Long spine. Inhale and sweep arms out and up. Careful, stagger with your neighbor if you need to. Bow forward, fold forward, bend your knees, and come down all the way, grab an elbow. You can always bend your knees in a forward bend. Yeah. Move and stretch here. Switch the grip of the elbow. Breathing into the back body, the belly, the side waist. Release your arms down. Take fingertips to your shins or the floor and come up halfway. Lift your body so it's parallel to the floor, halfway between the earth and sky. Bend your knees, touch your fingers down and step left foot back. Big step. Either take left knee down or keep it lifted and move and stretch here. Fingers down, knuckles down, flat palms up to you. Move and stretch. If you bring your back knee down and you want to pad under it, you can take your mat and flip it. Or use your blanket and bring it under your knee. Either way, we'll be here for about a minute. Feel free to straighten and bend You can rotate on your heel, come into a horizon lizard stretch. Twisting. Shorten your step if that feels better. And make sure you're super duper clenching your teeth tight. No, you're not doing that at all. Keep breathing smoothly and steadily. So on the wall here, I brought a painting. It's a poster of a painting. And when you get a chance, take a look at it. It's an elephant with a lotus flower in his trunk, lifting it in a plea of surrender. I'll tell you the story here in just a moment. Take one more breath where you are. Shift your weight into your right foot and step left foot forward, fold forward. Come up halfway, maybe hands come to thighs. Fold forward, exhale. Plow through your feet and come to stand. Lift arms out and up, reach. Interlace hands, turn the palms upwards. Side bend right. Yeah. And side bend left. Do that a couple of times. You can twist and rotate. Maybe, I love this, grab the back of your neck and lift elbow points. So the elephant's name is Gajendra. Gaja is Sanskrit for elephant, and Indra means lord. So he's the lord of the elephants. Come back into center, bow forward, fold forward. We'll do the other side. Hands to shins or the floor, come up halfway. Bend your knees, slide your fingers down, and take right foot back, big step. And do your thing, move and stretch. Use your blanket for your knee if you like, or tuck your mat under your knee. Move and stretch, breathe, shift, rock. So once you have a moment to look at the painting, you'll see Gajendra is in a pond with an alligator, actually a crocodile, clamped onto his leg. And it's a story, anyone know the story? No, Scott does. So it's a story of this king of the elephants, but it's an allegory. So king of the elephants is quite happy. He's got it all. He's got a bunch of girlfriends, a big family. He's got the wealth of the jungle. He's got power, and he's beautiful, and he's strong, super smart. And him and his entourage go to the lake to sport. And as soon as he takes one step into the water, boom, crocodile, boom, grabs him. Sorry, that's a lot of booming for yoga. And pulls Gajendra into the water, and they fight for 1,000 years. Yeah. All of Gajendra's family is on the bank of the river, the girlfriends and the children. He's got, he's the king of the elephants. He can basically do what he wants. That's what people with power seem to do. And they can't help him. So he fights and he fights and he fights, and sometimes he's winning, but he knows he's pretty doomed. And on the surface of this pond are lotuses. And he finally picks a lotus with his trunk and holds it up and asks Lord Vishnu for help. So Lord Vishnu comes flying in on Garuda, his eagle carrier, and there's a couple different versions of the story. He liberates the crocodile by cutting his head off, And, and saves Gajendra. There's another version where they both live, but, so. Okay, take a breath or two more where you are. Place both hands palms to the floor and step left foot back. Downward facing dog or table. Move and stretch here. If you need to just skip the weight bearing on the hands, do it. If you need to take a layer off or anyway. Push strongly into the floor with your index finger and thumb. If you need to take socks off, you can do that too. Like one of my favorite pastimes in downward facing dog, taking a sock off. I go flying across the room. But make sure you feel steady and stable without anything pinching. If at any time, you guys, I didn't have anyone fill out a waiver, but anytime something is not feeling right, just back off, take a knee, take care of yourselves. Take 2 more cycles of breath, breathe in and out. Come to your knees, but stand up on your shins. Bring your hands to the low back, like you're putting your hands in your back pockets. Press your shins, your toes into the floor. Take a nice full inhale, chest up and back, maybe head back. You don't have to lift your chin if that doesn't feel okay on your neck. Push hips side to side, supported back bend, supported camel pose. Got a full camel popping off there too. If you decided to take the full, hands back to hips, everyone head up, come up, hands to the floor, lift your knees, your hips, and walk forward, top of your mat, separate your feet wide, and again, find your elbows for just a moment. Then take hands behind your back, interlace hands, palms. Let your arms drape forward, kind of like an elephant's trunk. Come to center, keep your hands where they are. Squeeze your palms, push your feet into the floor and reach to come up. Squeeze palms, push them into the low back. Might feel a little dizzy. Pull your elbows and shoulders back, lift your heart, extend the spine. Head up, release your arms. Keep your feet wide, inhale, arms up. And bow forward, fold. Bend knees if that feels better. Come up halfway, inhale. Slide hands down, fingers to the floor, left foot back, another big step. Keep your left hand where it is, palm down or knuckles down, and reach right arm up. Take right arm up, take right arm over your right ear. Now place right hand on the floor and straighten right leg. Bow forward. Rebend right leg, right hand to the floor to the inside of your right foot, right leg back, downward dog. Briefly, you stay here if you would like. I'll kind of talk you through a modified flow. Come forward to the top of a push-up. Knees to the floor, bend your elbows and touch your ribs with your elbows as you lower down all the way. Palms stay flat, elbows in, lift your chest. Cobra pose into upward facing dog. Roll over your toes, downward facing dog. And bring left foot between your hands. Right hand to the floor, left arm up, reach. Open the collarbones. Reach arm up, reach arm forward, reach hand down to the floor. Place hand down and straighten your front leg. I know, we eat blocks, don't we? Sorry. Sorry, fellas.
It is temporary. Just like Gajendra's situation, I'll get back to him in a second. You can shorten up your step, those of you that feel like it's too wide. Bring the weight into your left foot, bring your right foot forward, fold forward. Push through your feet and come to stand, come up all the way. Lift arms, palms touch, catch the prayer. Eyes open if you need them to be. Notice your breathing. All right, release your hands and take a big wide step. Let's turn to face the mirror. Sorry, I'm doing it. Turn to face the mirror. Big wide step. Arms out. Yeah. Turn your right foot towards the front of the space. Bend your right knee. Left foot. My bad. Yoga teacher disease. Turn your left foot to the front of the space. And come into a warrior two. Think Arjuna. Warrior, you didn't want to fight. Open the collarbones. Look over your fingertips. See if you can relax your toes. Straighten your front leg, pivot to the other side. Right toes towards the windows. You can lower arms down and lift them back up if that feels okay. And bend your right knee. Peel your right thigh towards the back of the space, right side of the room. Press into your right foot, straighten. Turn your both feet forward, but turn your toes out, lift your arms, and bend your knees into goddess squat. Bend your elbows if you like, palms like you're holding something up, the weight of the world. Press into your feet, come to stand, arms straight. Turn left foot towards the front of the space, right toes can come towards the left a little bit and tip into triangle, right fingers to right shin, the floor. I like to kind of hold myself up a little bit. Inhale into a reverse triangle, lift your left arm, reach up and back. Keep this position with the upper body, bend your left knee. Reverse warrior, peaceful warrior. Warrior two. Straighten the front leg and turn your feet the other way. Look the other side. Triangle. Right fingers to right shin or thereabouts. Make sure your left toes track your knee so you can push your left heel towards me. Open your chest, reach your left arm up. It's a big move. Press feet into the floor and lift up all the way. Reverse your triangle. Reach, 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 right arm up. Maybe your left hand can even, your arm sweep around behind your back. Or rest your fingertips. Keep your upper body like this and bend into the reverse warrior. Bend front, it's the right knee. Warrior two. Okay, check it out. Turn your feet again. This time, take your hands to your hips, hands to your heart. Put your toes out, with side bend, side to side. Some of you might even put fingers to the floor. If you don't feel like you have the space, that's okay. You can scoot your mat, except my own mandala people might have to do a little different. Side lunge, side to side, working within range of motion. So Gajendra, it's pretty easy to make the connections, I think. Gajendra had everything. But even having everything, he still couldn't save himself. And he had to call out. Okay, make your way into center. I invite you here, if anyone would like to take a forward bend, I'd like you to go for it, and we will come to the floor shortly. So those of you that need to relax on the ground, you can make your way there. You can also child's pose. If you want to do something more fancy, yes, you can. So a little moment of freestyle. Yeah, exactly. So what they say, what the teachers say about Gajendra is that he was out of his element. His arrogance, false ego. This is the expression that you hear a lot in the yoga system. Thinking that he was all that in a bag of chips wasn't enough. Like, we all have beauty, strength, fame, wealth, knowledge, and the ability to practice austerities. These are called the 6 opulences. But we don't have them in the quantities that the source does. So Gajendra's families couldn't help him. He couldn't help himself. Go ahead and slide onto your tummies. Bend your knees, windshield wiper your legs, and make a pillow with your hands. If you need to, you can prop your chest up or your forehead with your blanket. Move your legs side to side. You can crisscross your ankles, or just take a belly down shavasana. If you're close to your beloved, you can crisscross with their ankles if you like.
Aww.
I know. So you guys get the picture, right? Like, you can have it all and you still need something higher to help you out of the mess that you get in. He got himself into the mess, into the crocodile eating your leg mess. So it's a story of free will, but also surrender. And there's lots of examples of this in the sacred literature, and you know, like Krishna tells Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita, you know, yeah, like I said, have you heard me? Okay, then do as you wish. And so we have this big giant mind, our mind that serves this awesome body that we have and our senses, but it's like, what are you going to do with it? What are you doing with this big smart mind? How are you directing it? Is it directed towards just serving yourself and ultimately getting yourself into trouble? Maybe not massive trouble. Not all of us find ourselves with a crocodile on our leg, but I'm sure you have your own version of that. Okay, from where you are, flip yourselves onto your backs so your head can be facing the middle. And come into a dead body pose, Shavasana. If you'd like, hands on your belly. Or arms at your sides, up to you. And you know what? I know this is kind of a reach for some of you. Find your blanket, guys. And take your blanket, bend your knees, lift your hips, and bring your blanket under your hips. Some of you might, nice footwork there, brother. Some of you might even want to double your blanket. Yeah.
So it's kind of more of a burrito. Desiree, do you need anything? So under pelvis, and you might extend your legs all the way, you might keep your feet on the floor. It might be a little lumpy, but we all are a little lumpy. You can do butterfly, what's that?
It's not a crocodile on your leg.
It is definitely not. You're safe. Gajendra was a king in his previous birth. And that's another really cool thing about the yoga science is like we all have a backstory. We all have a backstory. And what we do have is like now, right? I mean, so this Deus ex machina kind of idea of being saved, we have the choice, we have free will, we have opportunities, and with a sincere heart, when we call out, finally, there's so much relief in that. And what we can all relate to, I'm sure, is like even when you do that surrender, that deepest surrender, the work is still ahead of you. Like it doesn't disappear. And the more that you can elevate the mind and remember that this is a temporary condition. This is what's so cool about Hatha yoga and practicing physical yoga is you might be in a super hard pose, but it doesn't last forever. You might like leave class and talk to your friends about it, and like, wow, can you believe like whatever, 25 breaths in Utkatasana? Wow. But then, that's preparation for off your mat, hard stuff. So everyone has the blanket under their hips, thereabouts. Bend your right knee and pull it towards your chest, hands to your leg. Inside, outside, shin, thigh bone, top of the knee, I don't care. Move your leg side to side in your hip. And if this feels too pinchy to your back, you can get rid of your blanket and just be on the floor. See what it feels like to bring your hands onto the back of your leg and straighten your leg. Ish. It doesn't have to go all the way. Press out through your heel and make the heel the highest point for a moment and gas pedal your foot. Kind of ease the gas off and on. Rotate your ankle. Take one more breath and release down. Take a moment before you do the other side. If you want, you can stretch long, arms over your head, legs away from arms, fingers away from toes. And if you need to resituate your blanket, it's a good moment to try that. It can, blankets or every prop is amazing, and they're not, it doesn't last forever because your body kind of slides around. Okay, let's do the other side. Grab left leg and move it side to side in your hip. Maybe you're holding your pant leg or your sock. This is really nice to do on a bolster if you have the flexibility in your front hip, belly. Grab the back of your thigh, extend your leg. Press up through the heel. And then gas pedal your foot. And I know it's the wrong foot.
Clutch pedal.
Clutch foot. I said in class a while ago, if you're in, New Zealand or Europe or something, and they're like, nope, it's actually the same, right? Oh, duh.
Good try.
I say a lot of bad things. With a sincere heart. So a couple more things about this painting. I can't wait for you to have a look at it. Garuda, eagle. He's the vehicle of Lord Vishnu. There's a really great commentary in chapter 6. Hopefully we'll get to that when we do our Gita chapter later. Actually next, we're doing that in a few minutes. That tells us another cool story with a little different vibe that Garuda's part of. But all of the yoga postures that we do, you guys, are named for very specific entities. There's in Iyengar's Light on Yoga, there's a paragraph I love to read in class that talks about why the postures are named what they're named. And, postures are named after animals, insects, flowers, plants, sages, warriors. And by taking the shapes of these entities, you're communing with them. And again, it's like we all have a backstory. Maybe you even have recollections of your backstories. But even in this lifetime, we've been lots of different things. All right, release your left leg if you still have it. Extend both legs to the floor and just let your body rest over the blanket for one more cycle of breath. Big breath. Sigh it out. Bend your knees, feet on the ground. Tighten up your glutes. Press into the floor with your feet. Lift your hips up into a shoulder bridge. It's an easy shoulder bridge. And take your blanket out from underneath your body. Move it away from you. You can hold bridge as long as you choose. And when you get that little signal, lower yourself out and come back into dead body pose. Just feel the different brightnesses and tightnesses and space and texture. Having our hips lifted like that, a lot of you guys do this on regular, but it puts the pelvis into a position where your spine is an extension. your hip joint is an extension, so it's moving away from how it neutrally sits, and it is very therapeutic. So it's really good for us, especially if you've been sitting or driving, or I guess you're sitting when you're driving. Sitting at a desk, lots of sitting. Walking, running, riding a bike. Okay, take arms up over your head, big stretch. Find some more space as you stretch. Reach right side longer than left, and then left side longer than right. Do that a few times. Like a cat stretching in the sun. Or Jen was describing her dog yesterday. Putting her belly out for, like, touch my belly. I'm not gonna do that to you, don't worry. But it doesn't have to be a kitty. You can envision a dog. So I have one last, like, heating posture, and it's Vishnu related. But before we do that, take a nice big breath. Oh, pull knees to chest and just hold your legs close, roll again, and notice the space that you might feel after doing all that back bending, extension of the spine. Lift arms and legs to the ceiling, circle wrists and ankles. Oh, wrists and ankles. Can't get enough of that. Take a breath. Bend your knees, set your feet down and lower your arms to your sides. If you want to take a little baby bridge, you can, just a breath or two. Lower hips down if hips are up. Keep your legs bent. Roll to, let's all go to the right. Everyone roll to the right. So you should be looking towards the wall with a bunch of pictures on it. And bring your right arm under your right cheek. Kind of pike your legs. So your body is in like a wide V. And have your legs straight, not bent anymore. And you might be under a chair, sorry. So you're in like a long piked position. Put your left hand on the floor right in front of your right armpit, thereabouts. Lift your left foot away from your right. Lift your head off of your arm and then lift your left foot to meet lift your right foot to meet your left. So you're in kind of this weird lifted position. Okay, everyone, now lift your right arm and take your left hand to your right. So you're in, it's called the Vishnu's couch. You're lying on your side with your arms and your legs up. And then it turns into what we call fish out of water. Anyone feeling like a fish out of water? Okay, lower down. Turn over onto your other side. We have to do both sides. So pike your body, left arm out, head resting on your bicep. Right hand to the floor, pike your legs, lift your right leg. I'll try and get the correct limbs. Lift your head. So that one's easy. Lift your head. Then lift right, I did it. Left leg to meet right. Lift left arm off the floor, and then take your right hand to your left.
It was easier once we knew where we were going.
Fish out of water. So, Vishnu, you may know, or you may not know, after his job
among other things, is as maintainer of the universe. Okay, lower. Roll to your back. Square yourself onto your mat. Keep your feet on the floor, legs bent, and take your hands onto your thighs. I think everyone will enjoy this. And press your arms into maybe a straightish position. Hands press into thighs. Tractioning the hip joint. Press right side, left side. Press right side, left side. Release and take any last posture, happy baby. Maybe you just go straight into a corpse pose if you want, a blanket. Yeah, if you want to keep tractioning your hip joint. If you need, put socks back on. Fish pose. Dang, missed an opportunity. So that's a good part of the narrative there. So fish, interesting. Matsya, the posture is called Matsyasana. There's lots and lots of different incarnations. They're called avatars of Krishna. So Matsya is one of 10 really famous avatars. So as you move through postures, like we have tortoise. Tortoise was also another avatar. We have, of course, the warriors. Like, you ever be in a yoga class, you're like, why are warriors part of yoga? I mean, just like contextually think about this culture, and that in the Vedic system, it's called the corporeal body. The society was organized from the head down, and I think HD talked about this yesterday. At the top, the head are the thinkers, the priests, the educators. So those are the brahmanas. Then we have the chest are the warriors, because you need to have warriors, peacekeepers, as it were, administrators. So kings, government officials are in that class. Like, imagine in any of these ancient epics where there's a battle, the king is leading the charge, leading you into the battle as a general. So imagine if that were the case today, if our leaders were actually going into battle. And then going down the body are the business class and the farmers. So the trunk of the body. And the legs of this corporeal body, this division of society, are the workers. I'm kind of in the middle. I got a little bit of all of it, I think, myself, but hi, you can come in. So, just if, the whole point is that the warrior figures into yoga, asana, into the physical yoga practice, because the warrior is a great part of the yoga tradition. Even Lord Ram, the Ramayana is the story of Lord Ram. Lord Ram lived in the epoch, the yuga before Krishna, so he's an avatar. He was a warrior king, and he married a warrior queen, Lady Sita. So all of these postures are named for very, very specific things, and it's just fascinating as you start to get an inkling about it if you have a physical yoga practice. So. All right, beautiful souls. If it's okay with the
group, I'd like to get a little snap of this moment of Shavasana. If you don't want to be in the picture, raise hand. I'll make sure. Are you doing that to be funny?
I'm just waving her closer to me.
I'm just, no one's gonna see your face, I just wanted to get it.
No, I was just telling her to come and get the picture.
Do you want to get the picture? Okay. All right. I know I've thrown a ton of information at you guys, and there's a lot more coming. So we have an hour for the philosophy, and you're like, you've been giving us a lot of that so far. So we'll take another little break and then reconvene. Let's come back to our circle. Shaughnessy just got here. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana. And Shaughnessy, you get to go and find a flower. We have vases. Pick a flower and add it to the mandala here, either as petals or the complete flower. And
Could I introduce my house guest?
Yes,
Erin?
please.
So this is
Hi,
my
Erin.
house guest, Erin.
welcome, Erin.
He came from Boulder, Colorado.
And you were in Ashland before you came up.
I was in Ashland last week, and then I was over doing Tai Chi over on Gold Beach down the coast, and then just on my way back to Escortland to fly out from there.
Wonderful. Thanks for stopping here.
Glad to be here. Yeah.
It's a great, very auspicious day for you to be here.
Totally, I feel it,
Yeah, you, so the couple of you guys that came in a little bit after we started, no big deal at all. I mean, this is an open day if you need to leave early. This weekend is a big deal. It's, August has a lot of very special holidays in this tradition, this Vaishnava Bhakti tradition. Yesterday was Krishna's birthday, and today later, Leela Das will be here telling some stories of Krishna's pastimes. Leela is a great storyteller, so that will be after lunch, combined with art time. And for our art project, we're gonna make mandalas, just with colored pencils and paper. And so this is, you know, the one we get to make together, and then we'll have time to make our own. And you don't have to be an artist to do it. So yesterday was Krishna's birthday. Today is the birthday, in our language we call it the appearance day of my teacher, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. And it's a big deal because there's a guy who grew up in this town, Jen met him. He was one of the first Westerners to get into this, in the 60s, to get into this tradition. And he is actually responsible for connecting Srila Prabhupada with the Beatles. So he grew up in Salem. His initiated name is Shamsundar. And Jen maybe has his book.
I'm digging for it right now.
But, so that was,
I left it at home so that Erin could look.
I have some in
while we were
Jen.
gone.
Yeah, it's still sitting in your house.
In Dana's office, we have the volume, all 3 volumes. Shamsundar met A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Swami Prabhupada was in New York for a few years, then came out west. Shamsundar was doing fire lookout near Bend, and his friends drove from New York, and they're like, we're gonna go meet the Swami in San Francisco. And he's like, okay, I'll go too. And I'm giving you like the nutshell. And so San Francisco was the next kind of cradle of, in 1967, the Summer of Love. It was like everything happened all at the same time. And just the timing was such that it created the movement. And because people were looking, people are always seeking, and they found this spiritual teacher who, so Shama Sundar says, like, when we met him, we didn't even have a copy of the Bhagavad Gita. He hadn't finished translating it yet, and it hadn't gotten printed, his version. And he since went on, and Bhaktivedanta came to America with like $13 in rupees, something like that, on a cargo ship. He had a heart attack, multiple heart attacks on the journey. He was 70 years old. He got to the States, didn't know anybody. It said that when he got off of the ship, he didn't know to turn left or right when he got off this cargo ship in New York. And anyway, so I'm telling you all this just to give you some context to who this person is. And he passed away in 1977 or 8. And so H.D. Goswami, Howard Resnick, he's one of the like original guys that was part of that first wave. And he's, you know, it's just such a cool thing that he's here on this weekend. So with that said, couple minutes, potty break, water break, tea, fruit. There's fruit. Maybe I go wash the apples now. What do you think? Anyone starving for fruit? All right, 10 minutes and we'll be back. Anyone wanna help me wash apples? Okay. Cool. Let's reconvene here.
So you'd like us in a circle?
16 after, yes, and take up the circle again.
They have the exact same harmony.
This is, this is my friend Dana's, and we've traveled with them, like, they're nice size.
Yeah, it's perfect size, yeah.
Yeah.
Not big, not too small.
Yeah. Please. All right, we're gonna go wash fruit.
Is Goswami your teacher? Cool.
Yeah, he'll be here at 4 today.
Do you want me to come in first, Leslie, or?
Come on. No, you're good.
Okay.
So my dad died almost like next week, 29 years ago. But all of his, belongings, paperwork, will, holdings, funds have been held until after his wife passed, which was last Monday. And so we are getting full list of all of and my dad died so long ago, and my oldest son didn't. And so never did that. And so it's like, all of a sudden, it's, we really, because we were still in the position of dies
May I offer you a cosmic crisp? Apple, anyone? They're quite newly washed.
I'm good, thanks. Looking forward to lunch.
I know, me too, always. Would you like an apple? Ladies.
recognize me. I did. I have my glasses on. Shall I go again? I can get in there. I just, I'm not sure it would fit in the water, and I can pull that one too. Right, that's perfect. I'll definitely do that for you. You seem like you have a lot of, like, kind of. But I can't go barefoot, like, you don't want to get on my barefoot. Okay.
And just to let you know, I have I'll probably have to sneak out partway through the philosophy since I have a phone call. I have to get 1 o'clock.
Yeah, no worries, thank you. Thanks for letting me
Absolutely.
know. How are your journeys?
Fantastic. 2 weeks here in Oregon, and it's been like so deep and nourishing. I was born out here, and so it's just like really recharging to come visit here, and then do a week straight of Tai Chi is just like, you're gone. Yeah.
Was it at a conference kind of thing?
Yeah, I have a teacher who lives out in Gold Beach, Oregon half the year, and they have they're like Living Tao Foundation where they have a house where they do this seminar out of, and so it's like a community kind of studying Tai Chi with them for some of them for 50 years, so.
When do you leave Salem?
I think probably today, I might stay here tonight and leave.
Oh, you
early
fly
tomorrow.
out?
Yeah.
There's a teacher, who's 2 doors down, Warren Allen. I've taken a few classes with him. He's old school, but he's also, he integrates a lot.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah, I mean, I was telling Jen, Jaden, your son, that, yeah, I've been feeling like I need to spend more time in Oregon, so I suspect I'll be back before too long, and maybe where I can like actually hang out for a couple days.
That's great.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I live here. I actually went to CU.
Oh, fun.
Grew up in, I lived in Bailey, I lived in Aurora, Denver.
Yeah. Oh, amazing.
Boulder. I worked at the Onion when it was still in Boulder. It was the guys that started it in Colorado.
Yeah.
Oh, like I mean, news.
Yeah.
Just started in Boulder?
No, it started in Madison, but 2 brothers bought the rights to it in Colorado. And yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. It's a good place to be.
It is. How long have you been out here?
This is one of those.
Cool. Yeah.
Met my husband. I didn't think I would stay here. Then,
Yeah, good place to be.
yeah.
Fun. Cool.
You grew up in Oregon?
No, only until I was 3. I was Ohio most of my life. Yeah. Age like 0 to 3 here, age 3 to 22 in Ohio, and then a little bit of California, traveling for 4 or 5 years, and then now I've been in Colorado for 5 years.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Wow. What part of Boulder do you live in?
North Boulder. Yeah, 19 in Elder. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm doing that. It's great. I did a master's at Naropa, and now I'm doing a master's at CU, so, yeah.
So do you know who HTT is?
A little bit, you know. I've hung around in Hare Krishna temples. I definitely read a number of Prabhupada books long ago, and so I've definitely seen his name around in circles. Like Ramdas Maharaj is my main connection to yoga, but I definitely studied a little bit of this.
There's a guy, Aaron, who hopefully will come today. She doesn't know where she goes, 'cause that's kind of his
Great,
challenge.
cool. And so we're doing philosophy till 1:15, and then are we doing like lunch here? Okay.
The restaurant downstairs is a family restaurant.
Oh, lovely.
And so I have some like falafel and rice
Great.
and
Okay.
veggies.
Okay, cool, that's good.
Some tempeh.
I'm gonna, see, I'm gonna have like a 2-hour window, but I can't take this call until I try and move it around, one way or the other.
Right.
Thank you.
Good to meet you.
I was like, right on the Friday, but I knew it was gonna be right? I was just like, I was right around the school, it's my time, I got. It's very famous. Right into your water.
Yeah.
So birthday song. You were like.
So, like, because it's such
Seems right.
Kind of hate it a little bit. Yeah.
Love you a little.
Jen, thanks for getting water.
Yes, ma'am, I didn't want to come
They're, these little black ones. Is that also around the corner?
Okay, well, I have an Earl Grey, but I'll just.
Trying to figure out where to go. Blanket. How are bodies feeling after the little bit of asana?
It felt great to move.
Familiar.
This is a spot.
Yeah.
Because I've been laying on this way better.
Did you guys get a chance to look at the picture of Gajendra? It's just crocodile.
Wasn't your bag.
Seriously, I have a scratch on my hand from my dog. He just like, he's so happy.
That's what I do.
Yeah. Well, like, you know, when you struggle with something, like, I got this. No problem.
Okay. I get to see that at some point.
I don't know if I spread them out too many.
So do you like this?
Let's, how about in the harmonium? Is that weird? Or,
It is a snack store.
let's see,
Yeah.
it's hard, right? How about a,
I'm gonna go on a road trip.
There we go.
Everything from this Trader Joe's.
Trader Joe's. You don't think they have food there?
thank you for
It's not
thinking
even
of
planning
that.
that I like it's, you know, it's all paid for. So it seems very
Thank
safe.
you.
Even if you're like on the
I
state.
wonder if we should have a little bit more.
Or over to a friend's house, it's not like, I have grown-up boys, you know, so. Makes a lot.
My computer is all warm. Are those the dragon things?
Yeah, the dope ones, yeah.
It does that.
No, thank you. When Jen offered those yesterday, I was like, gummies, what? Will you grab a BG as it is? Because there's a purport I want to read. Someone is asking if they should bring anything. Do we need anything, you guys? If someone is on their way?
Yoga festival, so there's like 500 people.
I know.
My legs are overexcited.
Just a little shift on my hips or something.
Yeah.
I know what we'll sing. I need, you guys talk amongst yourselves while I find the chords for this. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it.
Vaishnava songs?
No, no. Stretch. Some glad morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to, hold on. Does that happen to you ever? Where you're like, the chords just aren't coming?
I mean, I'm simple. I have like 3 songs total. I play on that, and so.
Dang! I know I have one. I know it's in here somewhere. This is not my harmonium, and I keep all of my my chords in, like in the box. Okay, it's okay. In the box. Take a moment, you can reset, close your eyes, sit up bright and tall. Let's just get into that nice Om groove that we had earlier. Take an inhale for Om. where you feel the sound vibration in your body. We are sensory. We're meant to feel. So again, that transformation of space, adding just a little bit of the transcendental into our daily existence. So nice to be able to visit and talk and catch up and connect, and then this settling. Like all day long, Scott's been like, just take a step back, give yourself a moment, and there's nothing like that really to connect you in. Cool. So just really quick, I'm sure some of you guys are quite familiar with Bhagavad Gita, and if you're not, simply put, it is 18 chapters out of an enormous epic, thousands and thousands of verses. H.D. Goswami, who is here, he has a translation of, it's a 6-volume translation of the Mahabharata. Volume 1 is out, and hey, Leela's here. Oh man, I would have thrown the harmonium at you if I realized. Leela, grab a flower from any of the vases and add it to our mandala here in the second, in the center. So the Bhagavad Gita is 18 chapters out of the Mahabharata, which Maha again means great. Bharata, it's the name for India that would have been used by that giant landmass of people. And so Bharat, and you'll see in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna calls Arjuna Bharat, so he's of that land. The Mahabharata is the story of, it takes place on 3 planes. So we have the cosmic plane. It's, this kind of the ultimate Star Wars, like the light and the dark, like Leela says, the selfish and the selfless. And those forces are, they're the various forces, of course, the good. We want them to be the ones with the most control for all. But the darker forces, the selfish ones, are, they're pretty strong and they're pretty wily. But these families have come down through the story, and so what we find at Bhagavad Gita is the eve of a battle that is two family dynasties against each other, basically. And like I was talking earlier with the modes of material nature, like it's not just like clear cut. Like there's families on either side of the battle, and there's allegiances. Some of them are clearly the bad guys, but it's messy, and there's people on the other side. Like Arjuna's martial teacher is on the other side. His grandfather, whom he loves dearly, is on the other side. He doesn't want to fight them. So in the very first chapter, we get this moment where the battle is about to begin. There's, these famous paintings of 2 giant arrays of troops and this little tiny chariot in the middle of it, which is a really nice analogy for, that moment of taking a pause. Leslie, step back, just take a breather, take a pause, like remove yourself from the battlefield for a second and group yourself. So Arjuna asks Krishna, who is his chariot driver, to take the chariot to the center of the field. It hasn't started yet, but they're ready. They're pounding drums, they're blowing their conch shells, they're ready. You know, I talked about the corporeal body, the warriors, their nature is to fight. And it even says in chapter 2 that happy are the warriors to whom a fight comes unsought. Like, okay, yeah, let's go. They're ready, it's their nature. And Arjuna, the warrior, he's one of 5 brothers, very virtuous brothers. The kingdom should have been theirs. It's complicated, but because of a bunch of different circumstances, his cousins had usurped the power. So here comes the battle. Lots of different reasons for the fight. They had tried to seek peace. Krishna even went as an emissary to the other side and said, can we find peace? And they weren't willing. So the fight was about to happen. So here we find ourselves on the battlefield, and Arjuna he's highly trained. He's the best archer. He even has celestial weapons. His chariot is a celestial chariot given to him by Agni, the god of fire. He has no reason. Krishna is his chariot driver. He has no reason to worry. But in that moment where he kind of takes everything in, he's like, oh my God, I can't do this. And he drops his bow and he slumps to the floor of the chariot and says he won't fight. And that's setting the scene. So the teachings begin there. I mean, I think they begin with the setting the scene, really, because we can all identify. I mean, think of something that has you paralyzed. Like, I do not want, again, my example of me being in the car on the phone with the lawyer, not wanting to even be there. I just, every part of me wanted to escape, and there was no escape. So Arjuna surrenders, and he says, you know what's best for me, you teach me. And Krishna starts talking about the true nature of the soul, that we are individual, eternal souls in a body, but we've forgotten who we are. We've forgotten our true position, our true identity. And so even beyond like what we do in our daily lives, that's like paramount, that we are these individual eternal souls and part of the greater. Krishna talks about, like I said earlier, tolerating the fluctuations that we get just in life, not reacting. And the really nice example, and I say this is a repeat for those of you who have been with me for reading group, the chariot itself is a really nice metaphor. It's used in Vedic teachings as hello, welcome. Aaron, this is Aaron, everyone. And Aaron, hey, before you get too comfy, find a flower or some petals and add it to our mandala in the middle of the room. We're just getting kind of going with the Bhagavad Gita. So the chariot as the vehicle, you can think of your own body as a chariot, and there's a passenger, and then there's a driver. So the driver is holding the reins of the horses, and the horses, oh, perfect. What a great addition. The horses are related to, or the example for the senses. And so the senses are roving and trying to get satisfied. As soon as we can hand our reins over, the reins of the horses to the higher self, then we're better off. Because otherwise we're seeking, trying to seek to satisfy our senses. So this is part of the teachings. There's so much. We have, please take that. By the time we get to chapter 6, Krishna has talked to Arjuna about the importance of sacrifice, and that sacrifice is willingly, voluntarily giving back what is so freely given to you. And we sacrifice, like in the idea of the pilgrimage, we sacrifice our time to take a pilgrimage. You sacrifice your time. If it's a pilgrimage just on a yoga mat, you're still sacrificing your time. You're sacrificing doing other things so you can get yourself into that place where you are sourcing from within, going inward. Sacrifice, he says in chapter 3, is what makes a cycle turn. And by creating sacrifice, you make sacred. So by performing sacrifice, it makes that object sacred, which is also a way to elevate. So you start your day, say a little prayer, offer some incense on your altar, and keep that with you when you leave for the day. You offer your food, it makes the food sacred. So these little things that we can add to our lives that make it, not just mundane and, just going through the motions like the pedestrian crossing the street, one foot in front of the other without really thinking. Karma yoga. So chapter 4, we get into the idea of doing work as a sacrifice. Then we get into the knowledge yoga, which is studying as a means of sacrifice, and yoga as a way of connecting. So we have offering as a way of being connected. We have doing work as a way of being connected. And then study, the sacred study, is a way of being connected. And then we get into chapter 6. So this is a great one. I chose it because it's something we can all relate to. And in this copy, this is Bhagavad Gita as it is. This copy, in the commentaries, he talks about the Eightfold Yoga system, which if you practice the physical yoga, this is what we're doing a part of that. We're doing the asana part of yoga. So we're going to read this, and if you don't want to read, pass, and we'll just go on. But we'll just read together. That's you. And then I'm going to rudely interrupt at various parts. If you have this book, it's in the back, page 160. No, 172. But you shall, if you have a printout.
What is the author of this?
This is H.D. Goswami's translation. So he translated from the Sanskrit. Do you need a copy?
I will, yes. I'll get my
Yeah. He's a Sanskrit scholar, and why we're using this one, because there are thousands of translations, is it's the literal translation. So he like kind of, it isn't as poetic as some of the other translations. So I went to my left in the earlier circle. Can I go to my right for this one? Are you okay? Sure. Mm-hmm. Okay, go ahead. So this is Krishna talking to Arjuna on the battlefield. And he's just talked about karma yoga and then knowledge yoga.
And I can pass any time.
Sure.
How far would you? Oh. The Lord said, unattached to action's fruit, one who performs action as duty is the renouncer and the yogi, not the fireless or inactive.
Ooh. Do we need some explanation of that?
It's up to you.
So, unattached to action's fruit. When you do something, you can choose to do it wanting the fruits of the action, like thinking like, I made this happen, or surrendering the fruits of the action. So in chapter 2, Krishna says, do your duty without expectation of the fruits of the work. So you show up and fight, and without like expecting, you can control the outcome, basically. Okay. I know. Well, and here's an example. This morning on our walk, we were walking by an apple tree that was like heavy with apples, and I have a a couple pear trees. And I'm like, those are fruits. And they're actual fruits of labor, but I didn't have anything to do with them. Like, I cannot control how an apple grows, when it ripens. Like, you know, even if I have a tree in my garden, I can water it and everything, but I cannot control the fruits of anything. So that was a very literal example. Okay, so we got through one verse.
What they call renunciation, know to be yoga. Pandava, is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. For no one becomes a yogi without renouncing selfish will. For a sage seeking to rise to yoga, action is said to be the means. Only for one raised to yoga is ceasing said to be, wait, I'm trying to understand it as a
I know, it's a tough one. So
Only one-
action is like doing, like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's literally karma, like the work, doing the work. It's said to be the means. And when raised to yoga, ceasing is renouncing. Renouncing is said to be the means. So he's asking the difference between, I'm really sorry, you guys have to stop and explain so much, but he's asking what is better, to do work or to just renounce. And that's what we'll get here.
Gotcha. Only for one raised to yoga is ceasing said to be the means. Surely when one clings to neither sense, objects, nor actions, giving up all selfish will, one is then to have said risen to yoga.
Okay, so you don't want to cling.
No clingers.
No clinging to objects or action. Giving up all selfish will, one is then said to have risen to yoga. So he's making a distinction between like a renouncer and then someone who's just doing work. Okay, you want to read the next one?
I'm gonna pass.
Oh my God. Okay, Aaron.
One should uplift self by self. One should not degrade self. Indeed, self alone is self's friend. Self alone is self's foe. Self is friend to that self by whom self alone is conquered, but that very self can work as enemy due to non-self's.
Uh-oh.
Very self.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Go ahead. Go ahead and finish that paragraph.
For the peaceful who conquer self, higher self, is fully established in cold and heat, joy and sorrow, and so too in honor and dishonor.
Okay, let's compare it to this translation, and I think it'll be a little easier to understand. One should deliver themselves with the help of the mind and not degrade themselves. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul or his enemy as well. So here it is, the mind is your friend or your enemy. Verse 6, for the person that has conquered the mind is the best of friends, but for the one who has failed to do so, the mind will remain the greatest enemy. So, makes sense, right? My mind, my senses, if I've conquered the mind, I've conquered my senses, it's my friend. But we all know how that works. Do you want a Sinnoh dragon? Yes. Right? Okay, then for one who's conquered the mind, the super soul. So that's God in the heart. For one who's conquered the mind, the super soul is already reached, for that person has attained tranquility. To such a person, happiness and distress, heat and cold, honor and dishonor are all the same. So that's Sukha Dukkha. Sukha Dukkha is all the same. All right. Aaron, why don't you read the next one as well?
A soul content with knowledge and wisdom, who stands at the peak with senses conquered, is said to be linked. A yogi, for whom clay, stone, and gold are equal. Still better is one with equal reason among the kind-hearted friends, foes, abstainers, and mediators, the odious and kindred, and even among saints and sinners.
What do you guys think? So clay, stone, and gold are equal, and friends, foes, abstainers, mediators, the odious, kindred, even saints and sinners. Like, that's a pretty even-minded person, wouldn't you say? Anyone find that challenging?
It really challenges us to step back.
Yeah.
You know, I've had experience practicing this because I have children who play games, and in the digital world, they have these accomplishments accomplishments and they'll come to me and they'll tell me, I got a, red, whatever, emerald or whatever, and not that, but, or they could tell me I got a iron axe, and to me, it doesn't make any difference. It's the same digital currency in the game, but if you're in that game, there's all this like relativity to it, and you're triggered by, the great accomplishment of it, but the reality is that it's only has value when you're in that realm. The second you step out of that realm, it's all equal. So when Krishna is challenging us to link up with him, to link up with something beyond this material world, once we've fully accomplished that, if we've done it, we stepped out of the video game, then clay, stone, gold, they're equal, It's iron, diamond, pickaxe, it really doesn't matter, it's all just material world, right? And so with even more reasoning, we go to kind-hearted friends, foes, abstainers, meditators. In the game, all of those characters have to be played, right? Like you have to have the villain for it to be a successful drama. And so when we recognize that the villain in our life is just fulfilling that need for us while they're on their own path and their own levels of healing, then that's us pulling out of the game. That's us seeing ourselves as just a character, right? But how do we do that? We can't do that alone. It requires, as long as you're in the game, you could never, but I'm in the game, it does have value, right? And that's where this chapter's leading us.
I talked about Gajendra earlier, and Gajendra thought everything was fine, right? Parading around, being the bull elephant with his entourage and his family, and is suddenly stuck fighting a crocodile out of his element, and it is like...
It's like elongated, it's like there's so much, when you read that story, how comfortable Gajendra is, you're like, are we still reading this? He's really comfortable, And yeah, so are we, if we, but.
And so I guess what I'm getting at too with his story is it took him getting uncomfortable
There was, yeah.
to get out of the game.
Crocodile was always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crocodile's always there.
Yeah.
Get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Tolerate to elevate,
Yeah.
get comfortable with
Exactly.
being uncomfortable.
Yep.
Someone give this guy a
No, it's all
book
Keshe
deal.
Swami,
Yeah,
it's
I
not
know.
me. It's not me.
Good association.
Yeah.
All right, Raymond, will you please read this next chunk?
Well, give it a shot.
You're gonna have fun. You're gonna have fun with
Words
this.
here.
We're getting some instructions from Krishna on how to do this. So this is mystic yoga.
Alone, secluded, self and mind restrained, not covetous or possessive. A yogi must always link self in yoga. In a pure place, setting not too high or too low, one's firm seat, layered with cloth, antelope skin, and kuza grass. Setting there, making mind single-pointed, thoughts and sense activities restrained. One should practice yoga for self-purification. Steady and unmoving, keeping body, head, and neck aligned, focusing on the very tip of one's nose, not staring in any direction. Self-calm, fear gone, chastity vow firm, thoughts in me, controlling the mind. One should stay linked in yoga, dedicated to me, thus constantly linking self. A yogi of disciplined mind attains nirvana, of highest peace, which abides in me.
Okay, what do you guys think? Go and sit, neck, spine erect, focusing on one point, on a bed of kusha grass, on an antelope skin. Sounds pretty extreme.
Sounds nice.
Desiree's like, take me to the antelope skin. So what he's putting out here is, he talked about karma yoga, he talked about knowledge yoga, now he's talking about called dhyana yoga. So this is the yoga of meditation and concentration. And that's this, right? But he also says, you know, thoughts in me. So he's giving Arjuna direct instruction. If you choose to do this kind of yoga, still have the divine in mind. Like, it's not about, you know, just meditating on a candle flame. It's, you know, bringing your attention to the divine. He uses some language here that I pick up on quite a bit. Steady. He'll say steady on lots of different places. And then constantly linking self. This is how we become more disciplined, in that steadiness. And he'll tell Arjuna later that, you know, this is spoiler alert, but, and I've said it earlier in our time together, you know, yes, this is hard, but you do it by practice and detachment. Practice and detachment, practice and detachment. When your mind wanders off, you bring it back. When you're all spun up, you go to that pause between the fight, you know? So, you don't, you know, there's all kinds of roads in, like we talked about this last night, there's different ways in as a yogi. Okay, let's, Zora, will you read the next paragraph?
Yet yoga does not happen for one who overeats or solely fasts, nor for one who habitually sleeps too much or simply stays awake. But sorrow-ending yoga does occur for one in whose actions there is proper eating and recreation, proper effort, proper sleeping, and wakefulness. When the strictly controlled mind abides in self alone, not pursuing any selfish wish, then one is said to be linked in yoga. A yogi of controlled mind, practicing yoga of self, is compared to a wind-screened lamp that does not flicker.
Okay, so good news. Verses 16 and 17. You got to practice moderation. He's like, don't starve your body. Don't overdo it either. You need rest. You need to sleep.
You need recreation.
Yeah, recreation. Hey, do your duty, get some recreation. So that's good news. Let's see. So abiding in self, a yogi of controlled mind, practicing yoga of self, is compared to a wind-screened lamp that does not flicker. Wow. Imagine that kind of steadiness. Leela, will you read the next paragraph?
Yeah. That in which mind grows quiet, held fast by yoga practice, in which one is content by seeing self, in self, by self. The capital S is a different self.
Mm-hmm.
By seeing self in super self, by self again, in which one knows endless joy beyond the senses, a joy acceptable to reason, where once standing one does not move from truth, and gaining which one realizes there is no greater gain, standing in which one is not deviated even by heavy sorrow.
Mm-hmm.
That is called yoga, the unlinking of the sorrow link, which is meant to practice yoga with conviction and undiscouraged mind.
I'm going to read this as it is, transition.
Do.
So this is describing samadhi. So if you're familiar with the Yoga Sutras. In the stage of perfection called trance or samadhi, one's mind is completely restrained from material mental activities by practice of yoga. This perfection is characterized by one's ability to see the self, the capital S self, by the pure mind and to relish and rejoice in that capital S self. In that joyous state, one is situated in boundless transcendental happiness, realized through transcendental senses. Established thus, one never departs from the truth, and upon gaining this, they think there's no greater gain. Being situated in such a position, one is never shaken, even in the midst of greatest difficulty. This indeed is actual freedom from all misery arising from material contact. So that's samadhi. Sounds great too. Do you want to go there?
I love going there.
The thing is that Arjuna, we all, by putting ourselves in his shoes, is we have to know who we are in order to know where we're going. And that, knowing who you are is part of the battle. So, know what your nature is. Is your nature, hello, hi.
This is my friend Rachel.
Cool.
Hi Rachel, come in, I'll get you a mat.
How's it going? A mat and grab Rachel. Rachel, I'm so glad you're here. I'm Leslie.
Hi.
Thanks for coming. I do not know where the printouts are.
There are no more pens.
There are no more printouts.
Yeah, you can give her a book.
Yeah.
Here you go. I got it.
Okay.
This is for you. You are.
So, we have this being established, we have being fixed in this place of the stage of perfection. It's alluring, it's exciting. I want that, right? I want to be able to fix my mind. And yes.
Rachel needs to get a flower.
Yes, oh, Rachel, please, do you see our beautiful mandala here in the middle? Please feel free to contribute to it. Go grab a flower out of a flower vase. Yeah. While you do that, I'm going to read a purport, commentary out of this next verse, chapter 6, verse 24. Translated in this version, one should engage oneself in the practice of yoga with determination and faith and not be deviated from the path. One should abandon without exception all material desires born of speculation and thus control the senses on all sides by the mind. It's a lot of words, but the whole gist of it is engage in the practice of yoga with determination and faith and not be deviated from the path. So, thank you. Here's our story of Garuda. So Garuda in the story of Gajendra here too. Garuda is the king of the eagles. And in the story, it says for determination, one should follow the example of the sparrow who lost her eggs in the ocean. So the story, I won't read the whole thing. It's very cute. It's very sweet. A sparrow lays her eggs right at the shore, and the ocean takes the eggs away. And the sparrows, this little bitty sparrow, says, excuse me, those are my eggs, I'd like them back. And the ocean laughs at the sparrow. And the sparrow is like, I would like my eggs back, please. And the ocean laughs and laughs. You're not getting your eggs back. So the sparrow says, okay, then I'm going to drink you beak by beak. So that's determination. And the sparrow, of course, it's the itty bitty bird, isn't going to drink the ocean, but because of her determination, Garuda sees this. Garuda's flying by and goes, oh, wow, look at the determination here and the faith that this little bird has. I'm going to go help. And so we have this example of determination. And
confirmation.
And yes, hello, ding, ding. So that is another nice teaching of how connection, doing your duty. I mean, she did have an expectation though, didn't she? She was gonna get her eggs back. And it's just magical how it all worked out. So practice yoga with determination and faith. It says here at the end, I'll just read this last thing and then let the chapter continue to roll on. It says, excuse me, in the practice of yoga, especially bhakti yoga, it may appear to be a very difficult job, but if anyone follows the principles with great determination, the Lord, fill in the blank of your Lord, your higher power, will surely help, for God helps those who help themselves. That would be a transcendental mic drop. Yes.
So in the story of the sparrow, I think what comes to my mind is that the sparrow could look at the ocean and say, there's just no way I'm gonna give up, I'm too small, I have nothing that I can do here. And instead, she decides that she's gonna try to do something. Whether it brings her eggs back or not, I mean, that would be a nice, reward. But she overcomes her own personal obstacles in order to do this thing that is like the one thing she sees that she can do in the situation. And so then she's like putting aside her fear or her, you name it, so that she can do something instead of feeling like there's nothing that she can do.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, how many times have you had that source, that strength from within, and you're like, oh, I'm doing this, like this, just, you're totally determined and bound and determined to follow it through. Yes.
I always also saw that it has to do with results, right? So the sparrow has a duty, like from the moment it hatches the egg until it hatches its next set of eggs, its duty is to protect the egg. And so even when the egg was removed, its duty was still there. And so it was like, even though it's like when you've lost the race, but you still keep doing the race, even though the goal, it's like it's no longer even possible. But her duty remained, and so she kept. And I really appreciate it. Like last night with HDG, there was an epiphany moment when he was talking about duty being in correlation with other people's rights. And he said that for those of you that weren't there, it was that by dint of us having rights, somebody else has a duty. Or by dint of us having a duty, it respects other people in our community's rights. He didn't use this example, but like if we're crossing the street, it's only because I have a duty to stop that somebody has the right to cross it without fear, without, and so when I hear this word duty, I keep thinking about it in correlation with my community's rights, right? So the chick had the right to have this protection, this growth, right? And the ocean stole that, but the mother continued with her duty. And Garuda sees this and says, actually, in the matrix, things aren't fixed. I have a friend who knows the code, and I can elicit those eggs back out of this ocean, and the ocean knows it, right? But Garuda wouldn't have elicited those things if the bird had said, oh, well, I can give up on this for now. I'll pick up my duty the next time I have those eggs, right? Like I'll be, that's where the story.
I love it. Yeah. Anyone else? No. Great.
I was hanging out with friends last week, and I have a little 3-year-old son, and we were reading him a children's book called The Little Drop, and it was totally this story. It was like a little hummingbird who there was a big fire, and the little hummingbird's like, I'll get a little bit of water to put out the fire, and all the other animals are like, oh, we can't do anything until they see the little hummingbird, and then one by one, all of them, including the big elephant, are like, okay, the hummingbird's doing what he can, I'm gonna do what I can, and they put out the fire, and it's cool hearing this, because I'm like, I feel like this story is totally where they got the inspiration for that.
The Little Drop. Yeah, I mean, and that's what we get when our hearts are nourished in that way. Like this is a mind practice. It's feeding the intellect. It's informing how we behave in the world, that, you know, the yama niyama piece in the yoga science, but it's also that connection, community connection, where it can be inspiring to see that little hummingbird filling up its little beak.
Yeah, in the hummingbird, the hummingbird was doing what she could because she needed to save her nest. So it's like, yeah.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Thank you. What a cool kids book. It's like Sesame Street, you know, it's as entertaining for the big people. Okay, we are at verse 24. Leela, will you read this chunk?
Yeah. Wholly forsaking all selfish desires born of will and regulating the set of senses by mind alone, one must gradually come to stillness through reason, held with resolve. Fixing mind firmly in self, one should reflect on nothing else, and from wherever the unsteady, fickle mind wanders, one should pull it back, bringing it under control of self alone.
Go ahead and read the next one.
Ultimate joy comes to a yogi of concentrated mind.
Contented.
Thank you. Ultimate joy comes to a yogi of contented mind and subdued passion, who abstains from impurity, having joined Brahman. Thus, a yogi, free of impurity and always linking self, joyfully obtains endless joy by full contact with Brahman.
Okay, so we have forsaking selfish desires, regulating the mind, coming to stillness through reason and held with resolve, fixing the mind on the Atma, reflect on nothing else. That gives you, there's an equation. We get joy from that, with that contented mind, which raises us to this level of Brahman, which is this is an aspect of yogi. It's kind of where some people stop. Like kind of where some people stop in the yoga science. Like, I'm good, like I'm just gonna be, I'm experiencing bliss, so I'm fine. I'm just gonna stay here. But there's more. So we'll get to that. Jesse, will you read the next paragraph, please?
With equal vision everywhere, the yoga-linked self sees self in all creatures and all creatures himself. To one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am not lost, nor is that person lost to me. The yogi is one who abides in unity and honors me in all creatures. However living, that yogi lives in me. By self-comparison, one who sees everywhere equally in joy or sorrow is respected as the highest yogi.
It's pretty good, right? Like, we're on this, and HG talked about it last night in chapter 18. If you're operating from that place, you see everyone as equal. So it's called Sama Darshana, seeing all beings as equal. And it's seeing that spark of the divine in every living being. The tree, the flower, the person with the dumb bumper sticker. Like they're all a spark of the divine. And when you see that way, that you're in that place of being connected, and you're never lost. So this is that next piece. So here goes Arjuna. Go ahead, Shaughnessy. Arjuna said.
Arjuna said, this yoga with equality that you teach does not seem an enduring state due to unsteadiness.
Madhusudna.
For the mind truly is unsteady, strong and stubborn. Krishna, it seems harder to restrain than the wind.
Oof. So go ahead and read the next one.
The Lord said, doubtless, grief harmed. The mind is on the move, hard to hold fast. The but one catches it with practice and passion.
Countea, these are all epithets, yeah.
I think it's hard for an undisciplined soul to achieve yoga, but a controlled, striving soul is able to attain it by right means.
Okay, so this is the famous couple of verses that I've said a few times in class. So Arjuna says, I'm reading out of this other translation. He says, Arjuna says, this Madhusudana is significant too. It's Krishna as the destroyer of doubts. And it's a whole other story, but Madhusudana, the system of yoga, which you've summarized, appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady. The mind is restless, turbulent, obstinate, and very strong, O Krishna. And to subdue it, I think, is more difficult than controlling the wind. Lord Sri Krishna says, O mighty armed son of Kunti, it is undoubtedly very difficult to curb the restless mind, but it is possible by suitable practice and detachment. I mean, what a relief.
Can I see that?
You sure can. Maybe I'll have you read it next time I want. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, practice and detachment. Sound good, right? Jen.
Arjuna said, Krishna, what is the fate of a faithful person whose mind deviates from yoga, who stops striving, not achieving yoga perfection? Baffled on the spiritual path, both ways lost, with no foundation, does not one perish like a rent cloud? This is my doubt, Krishna. You ought to fully dispel it. Apart from you, surely there is no other dispeller of this doubt.
So he's still doubtful. Remember Madhusudana? It seems hard. I can't do it. It's my mind. The mind is turbulent and obstinate, harder to control than the wind. And Arjuna's like, well, okay, what about the person that can't? That just isn't gonna get it. One who stops striving. Baffled on the spiritual path. Both ways lost. Both ways, that's referring back to the very beginning of the chapter when he was like, what's the deal with renunciation and work? With no foundation, does not one perish like a rent cloud? Like just that visual of a cloud being like pulled apart. That's my doubt. How do you feel about that?
I like that he's asking, like, what's the case if this happens to someone else? Like, he's not saying, I am this person. He's kind of like, but what about that person? That might be in doubt. I love that.
A friend.
Exactly, what's gonna happen to them before I make a choice?
That's good. Good.
You wanna keep going?
Aaron, wait, yeah, we have two Aarons in the room.
The Lord said, Partha, never in this life or the next is that person ruined. Dear friend, surely no doer of good meets a bad fate. After reaching the worlds of right doers and dwelling there for myriad years, one fallen from yoga takes birth in a pure and prosperous home, or else one is born in a family of wise yogis. Surely, in this world, such a birth is much harder to achieve. Therein, one reconnects to past life's understanding, and then strives on for perfection, Guru child. By that former practice alone, one is inevitably brought back. Seeking to know about yoga, one surpasses word Brahman, striving with real effort, fully cleansed of impurities, and perfected after several lives, the yogi achieves the highest state.
So what happens if you fail? It's like you have a spiritual bank account, and in your next birth, you're going to pick up where you left off. Like people who are naturally very gifted at playing an instrument probably had that ability in a previous birth. Or, you're super good at, architecture, or cooking or anything. That this is it's something you've been perfecting for years and years, but here we are as yogis, like what brought you in the door? Something hooked you into this. You took your first class from Zora, or you were in a Kundalini class with Desiree, and it's like, oh my God, this is doing something to me. What, I don't understand it, but I'm gonna keep coming. And then suddenly, you know, everything starts to kind of fall into place. Tara, take us home. This is the last paragraph.
A yogi surpasses ascetics and is, well, ascetics, and is even held to surpass the learned. A yogi surpasses ritualists, therefore be a yogi, Arjuna. And of all yogis I consider as most linked in yoga one whose inner self has gone to me, who faithfully reveres me.
Thank you. I'm gonna have Desiree read those last two. So read 46, just the black, the
just that.
bold, and then 47, the bold one. Yeah.
Is in this one right here. Okay.
Yeah.
A yogi is greater than the ascetic, greater than the empiricist, and greater than the fruitive worker. Therefore, O Arjuna, in all circumstances, be a yogi. 47?
Yeah.
And of all yogis, the one with great faith, who always abides in me, thinks of me, within himself, and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all. That is my opinion.
That is my opinion. So there's a yoga ladder. There's different degrees of yogis, and there's no loss. He says it in chapter 2. We didn't read that, but he says, in this endeavor there is no loss or diminution, and even a little bit of advancement on the path will free you from the greatest type of fear. So a little bit of work, a little bit of, you know, investment in the yoga world will take you miles and miles. They say Krishna's just waiting for you to take a step forward. You take one step forward, he takes 100 steps to you. He's waiting by the phone, you know, he's just waiting. I use this example a lot in the yoga classes, that it's the two birds in a tree analogy. Two birds in a tree. One is busy like eating the fruit and attacking and defending and like trying to get a girl and like you know, squawking, and then the other bird is the witness, and the witness bird is just waiting for the other bird to be like, you know. So this is why we quiet the mind. This is why we have to start at that platform of sattva, the harmony, the clarity, because if we're in the mode of passion, we're just going, we're trying to eat the fruit, you know, do all the things in the tree, and your mind is just too distracted to even turn and look at the other bird. And so these are little pieces, again, that we can add to our daily practice, our daily lives. Yeah, let's have it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I love this chapter, and what, like, it makes me think about, like, even that first paragraph where, you know, he's talking about, you know, giving you some ideas on how to sit and practice. Like all these practices are so beneficial. Like, he's basically telling you that, you know, he's given an example there, but like, are the technologies of Kundalini, he's like basically saying these are so helpful, like they will help you, or to eat in moderation. And then the way I look at it is, you know, if I'm doing those practices every day, you know, things seem to be going pretty well, and then all of a sudden, like I have an 18-year-old daughter whose birthday is one day off of mine, so I get to like watch my karma right in front of me, you know, and all of a sudden, like, I'll be doing great, and then all of a sudden I'll just snap at her, and it's like, it's not lost that I did all these practices, or, you know, I could be eating in moderation, then all of a sudden I go crazy on some muffins at 10 at night or something crazy, you know, whatever it is. We're human. It's so hard to like stay in this state of perfection, or even the people we think we see, you know, we don't really see them behind closed doors, you know what I mean? Like they're human, they're just human people, and so I think, like he's saying, yeah, like do those practices, they will help you, and they're gonna, and they do pay off, you know, like it will always get carried with you.
Or even to like, that when you have the muffins in the middle of the night, that also is a coming to a center. It's like that you're not so rigid that you never have recreation, to have a muffin in the middle of the night, that we can't be so rigid in our practice that I only eat healthy foods, or I only, so it's like maybe you're doing it even better than you're
It's a higher taste.
it's that,
You could be smoking cigarettes.
I mean.
right, or even when we get angry, it's like to get pulled off, it reminds us that like, okay, yeah, like I am keeping things in a balance, right? Like I am, if it was easy, if our nature was just to be neutral, and that wasn't, because I also have a flare, it's like, there would be something else that would be pulling us. We would be dealing with, maybe we would be dealing with nicotine addiction, or we would be dealing with some other pull, right? So.
It's like, I chant mantras, but I say fuck a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like, if anything, it's like, don't let these things destroy our practice. That there's always gonna be this, like a plate spinning. It's only in its movement that it ever achieves perfection of balance. It takes constantly being off balance to pull itself back into that spin, right? It takes us constantly being challenged and pulling ourselves back in that gives us that energy.
The gyroscope.
Yeah.
The gyroscope can go sideways.
Right. And as Krishna is saying, like, you could easily lay down on any condition. You could easily be the sleeplessest person in the world, or the sleepiest person, or, these things are easy, to be the angriest, or to have no anger. If we can shut down our emotions, like we can, like, all of our emotions suffer because of that, but we could become free from any anger, right? We shut them all down. Like, disassociation for the win, right? No, Krishna is telling us absolutely the opposite, that like to embrace our normalcy, to embrace the normalcy of failing, to make that our practice, to bring it back. And
That's why we're practicing.
yeah, and not to be discouraged by it, right? It's only when we think that that's the final lesson that we have ceased to give up, right?
Yeah, I feel like he's basically outlining, like, here's all the ways to come to me. Here's all the ways to come to God. Like, you can practice, you can concentrate, you can give up. Like, there's all these ways, and like he's also expressing grace. Like, there's like, here are all the things that you can do, and if you fall down at any one of those, as long as you have the relationship with me, like, as long as there is faith, then like you will find your way. And so it's like, here's all the things you can do, and ultimately like there is grace, so you don't need to stress yourself out about being the perfect yogi. Like, you can actually relax that, not stress, and relax into it, and then here's what you can't do.
And don't let yourself be dissuaded because you find yourself off the path, that here are tools, actual things you can do to bring yourself back to that path after the yelling at your kid, or, and you can come back again and again. And that's always available to us.
And if you are evaluating and you see, like, I don't have, like, I will always have this, like, it's in my, I'm Irish or whatever, there's always this, like, but Krishna's like, yeah, and the sparrow also had a small beak, but yeah, like, don't worry, and Krishna says that in the Gita, I will carry what you lack, and I'll preserve what you have. I'll help you what you got, and wherever the lack is, I'll carry,
That line about the, like, you were born into it, that was another thing I always try to look at with my kids that are 17 and 18 now, but it's always like, all throughout the years of practicing yoga, I was like, I wonder, like, what they had done in their past life to get that lucky, you know what I mean? Because that wasn't something in my home, so they got like raised around it.
And he does say that. It says, if you're born into a family of yogis, you may already be at a higher level.
Yeah, I try to think of them, like, they probably actually at a higher level than me.
Well, and because you've done your work as you've been raising them, that they've done some of that. They still have their journey, but they see you working through it, so it helps them understand that.
I just chose the difficulty kind of chose my mom, but they chose the difficulty because my practice is kind of eventually. And it can support them.
I have one that was born to teach me. I had to snap up really quick, because by the time he was about 5, he was like telling me things that I was just like, what, you're a kid, go play with cars, you know, and, I mean toy cars, not like little cars. But it did, maybe he was born into our family to help the rest of us lift up also, for sure, yeah. I wanted to just ask a question just because of the stone and the clay and the white gold. And that's really a hard one, yes, so like, you guys can tell this is a lovely man right here. I actually met him yesterday and I'm like, hey, take the door code and come and go as you please, but like clearly he's lovely, right? But I do feel that the more I'm involved in groups like this, the more lovely people we just attract in. I actually have another lady showing up at like 1 o'clock today that I've never met that's coming from Brazil to stay at my house this week, you know, and so it's kind of like, yes, maybe taking stone and clay to mean the same thing. However, I feel like my life has been really uplifted by the people I'm surrounding myself with. It's a lot easier to take everybody at the same value when everybody is offering really so much.
Well, I think like what you're touching on is this, like, okay, it says us to see everything with equal vision, but that doesn't mean that we act equally to all things, right? And we have that example of the tree, and if you water the leaves, or if you just water a branch, that the tree isn't benefited, but you actually have to water the roots, right? But if we wanted to be equal, then we should probably not be watering the tree at all. I personally like sweet potato fries and dipping sauce. Right? So really, like, if I'm gonna be equal, then I should order some fries and shove those on the root of the tree, right? Like, we all know that's ridiculous. We know that the tree has no way to synthesize sweet potato fries, right? But like in the same way, we're not going to take any random person off the street and be like, come have free, reign of our home and our, but we have to utilize our intelligence, right? And Krishna talks about that, when he says we should be equal poised Prabhupada talks about in the purport. And Krishna says, let's be equal poised in happiness and distress in summer and winter, right? But in the purport, Prabhupada says, yes, but you still put a coat on in the winter. You still, put a sweat rag. You still take, you don't just say like, I wear a coat, I am equal poised, and then like sweat yourself into sickness in the summer heat, right? That we have to use our discernment, and we have to recognize that everything has its duty.
And I think that's what he's saying with like equal reason. Equal reason is saying like maintain a level head, but maintaining that level mind means being discerning about what the appropriate context is. Like if I have equal reason, then I can recognize that it's cold and so I need a jacket, or it's not cold so I don't need a jacket. And so it's just like the quality of mind that can then meet the circumstances as we need to.
Yeah, we all recognize our needs. Like none of us are out here like chasing being an executive with like a, 8-digit salary, like we all recognize our need doesn't need that. Like our energy can go after a certain point. My family's fed, my house is safe. Oh, how do I give to my community? How do I show up for somebody else now? I have this surplus, right? And that's the choice that we've all made as individuals, right? And hello, welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, we just keep whirling the pedals closer.
Yeah. Yeah. If you want that, you can have it.
Let me get you guys in the other back.
I'm good right here.
Are we gonna eat? Are we gonna, because we're gonna do ours next. There's some more,
taking a plate for our offering, because we're gonna make the food sacred, and then we get to eat. Are you guys hungry? You guys need any more? Let me know. Alex and Katie, we have this beautiful growing mandala in the center of the room, and here, look, I'll just make it simple. Since I'm up. Come and grab, pick a flower or petals, up to you, and add them to our mandala.
Put my whole shirt in there, it's covered in
You-
flowers.
Take the circle up, or are we gonna still hang like this while we're?
She just took a.
What do you think?
A petal, not the
You
whole
can do
thing.
whatever you want.
We can do art like this.
I won't take that.
Perfect. Yeah, go for it, just.
Alex, your strength is.
That one?
Thank you.
I'll let you place it.
Alex,
Yeah.
who's your person? I'm his sister, Katie.
Yeah.
We thought so, we thought that was.
Thank you, good job.
Nice to meet you, Katie. Nice to meet you. Did we call you Cherry just for today?
This
It's
is
so
so
cute,
cute. This is
isn't
looking
it?
so nice. When Erin brings in our soul plate, I'm gonna take a little picture. You guys, they were calling me for like 20 minutes. To say, hey, the food's ready.
Do they not know you by now?
So, yeah, I'm glad, that Roman, our chef came up and.
Who brought the cinnamon? Is that over here?
The cinnamon candy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, let's
We
get it.
came from this
Thank
area.
you.
We're
They're
here.
gone.
Trader Joe's.
Thank you.
Good. I can't remember what your name
Desiree.
was.
Ah, nice. You're so good at that. This is at least the fourth one I've had to make or that you've done that. So just take a moment and appreciate our food. And I know today's been big, lots of information, lots of hopefully connection and community, connection to yourself. The real yoga, the yoga connecting beyond, connecting yourself to your divine, and celebrating that. Like, none of us would be here if we didn't have teachers that were leading the way for us. So really honoring the teachers too. Okay, let's eat. And we don't have to do it in any way that is orderly. Maybe only people holding hands go. Where do we go? Where's the Buddha is on the hallway.
Thank you.
Good job. The guy muttering to himself.
I'm sorry.
Do you wanna, get this?
Oh, yes. Oh, jacket. Okay, gotcha. He's like that. He's done before.
I have.
Yeah, he's so cool. His energy's so big.
Yeah,
I love it. What was that?